Scope answers one question: where in your source code is this name visible? C has 4 scopes, and the one you will meet 10,000 times is block scope. A name declared inside a pair of braces is visible from the point of its declaration to the closing brace, and nowhere else. So here, A is declared in the function's outer block, and it is visible for the rest of the function, including inside the inner block. B is declared inside the inner block, so it is visible there, and the moment that inner closing brace goes past, B is gone. The last line does not compile. Error, B undeclared. 2 details worth pinning down. It is from the declaration, not from the opening brace, so a name is not visible on the lines above where you declared it. And braces are braces. The block belonging to an if, a for, or a while creates scope in exactly the same way. What happens when an inner declaration reuses an outer name? The inner one wins for the length of its block. That is called shadowing. Here the outer x is 10. Inside the block a second, entirely separate variable is declared, also called x, holding 20, and while that block runs, x means the inner one. Print it and you get 20. Then the block closes. The inner x ceases to exist, and x means the outer one again, still holding 10. It was never modified, it was merely hidden. The language allows this deliberately, and once in a while it is what you want. Far more often it is an accident, and it produces one of the more maddening bugs to read. Because the code assigning to x looks exactly like the code that should be updating the variable you care about. -w shadow will warn you about every case. It is not included in -w or -w extra, so ask for it by name. The other 3 take a minute between them. File scope, a name declared outside any function, is visible from its declaration to the end of the file. Those are what everybody calls globals, and we will look at them properly in the next lesson, because file scope is where the interesting question is not visibility but linkage. Function scope has exactly one inhabitant: labels, the targets of GoTo. A label is visible everywhere inside its function, no matter which block it is written in, which is the only reason GoTo can jump out of a nested block at all. And function prototype scope, the parameter names in a prototype, are visible only inside that prototype's own brackets. That is the answer to the puzzle from the last lesson. Those names have nowhere to be visible, so they cannot clash with anything, and the language lets you leave them out. One habit to take away. C89 required every declaration to sit at the top of its block, which is why old C code opens each function with a wall of variables. C99 lifted that, and you can now declare a variable anywhere, including in the first clause of a for loop. Use it. Declare each variable at the point of first use, in the narrowest scope that works. On the left, the loop counter I outlives the loop and stays visible for the rest of the function, waiting to be reused by accident. On the right, it exists for precisely the loop that needs it, and referring to it afterwards will not compile. Smaller scope means fewer live names in your head at any moment, fewer chances to collide, and a compiler that can catch more of your mistakes for you. It is one of the cheapest quality improvements available in this language.